Ambassador Zeleth's crystalline form shimmered with anticipation as the human delegation's ship docked with the neutral station. After 3 cycles of careful preparation, the Galactic Council had finally approved first contact with the species that called themselves humans. Every projection, every simulation, every cultural analysis pointed to the same conclusion. These mammals would be perfect additions to the Council's peaceful federation. The humans were young, barely having achieved faster-than-light travel. Their homeworld showed signs of recent conflicts, but that was normal for developing species. Most importantly, they had responded to the Council's invitation with what appeared to be genuine enthusiasm for diplomatic relations. Zeleth adjusted the translation matrix hanging around what humans might call a neck, though the Vraxian anatomy bore little resemblance to mammalian forms. The device would ensure perfect communication, a necessity when dealing with a species that apparently had over 7,000 distinct languages. The airlock hissed open, and the human delegation stepped through. They were smaller than expected, bipedal creatures wrapped in simple dark clothing. Their leader, a female with graying fur on her head, stepped forward with a warm expression that Zeleth's cultural database identified as a smile. "Ambassador Zeleth," the human said, extending a hand in the greeting gesture the Council had studied extensively. "I'm Secretary General Maria Santos. It's an honor to meet you." Zeleth reciprocated the gesture, careful not to apply too much pressure to the surprisingly delicate human appendage. "The honor is ours, Secretary General Santos. The Council eagerly awaits your species' integration into our peaceful alliance." The negotiations proceeded exactly as projected. The humans were curious, asking thoughtful questions about trade routes, cultural exchange programs, and colonization rights. They seemed particularly interested in the Council's conflict resolution protocols, a promising sign of their commitment to peace. "Your species has done something remarkable," Santos said during a break in formal talks. 700 civilizations, all working together without a single war in over 2 millennia. How do you do it? Zeleth's form brightened with pride. "We learned long ago that violence is inefficient. When disputes arise, our mediation algorithms calculate optimal outcomes for all parties. Everyone wins. Everyone prospers." "That's beautiful," Santos replied, though something in her tone made Zeleth's sensors twitch. "And what happens if someone refuses the algorithm's decision?" "Refuses?" Zeleth found the concept difficult to process. "Why would anyone refuse an optimal outcome?" Santos smiled again, but this time it looked different somehow. "No reason. Just curious about hypotheticals." The breakthrough came on the 3rd day, when the Council offered humanity membership with full colony rights to 12 uninhabited systems. It was an unprecedented gift for such a young species, but the humans had impressed everyone with their diplomatic sophistication. Santos accepted graciously, and Zeleth began preparing the integration ceremonies. Everything was proceeding perfectly, until the emergency beacon activated. The holographic display materialized in the center of the conference room, showing a scene that made Zeleth's crystalline structure crack with shock. A human ship, not one of their diplomatic vessels, was systematically destroying a Krillian mining operation in the Outer Rim. "There must be some mistake," Zeleth said, optical sensors frantically analyzing the footage. "This cannot be a human vessel." Santos stood slowly, her expression shifting into something Zeleth had never seen before. The warmth was gone, replaced by something cold and predatory. "Oh, that's definitely one of ours," she said calmly. The mining operation was on Kepler 442b. That's one of our colony worlds. Impossible, Zelith protested. The Krillians have held salvage rights to that system for 3 centuries. Our records clearly... Your records are wrong. Santos's voice carried an edge that made every alien in the room step backward. Humans have been living on Kepler 442b for 47 years. 3 generations of families, building homes, raising children. The display showed more destruction. Krillian extraction ships fleeing as human fighters swept through their formations with terrifying efficiency. This is a misunderstanding, Zelith managed. The mediation algorithms will resolve this. Both species will receive optimal... No. The single word hit the room like a physical force. Santos moved closer to Zelith, and for the first time the ambassador noticed the Predator's eyes hidden behind that diplomatic mask. "Let me explain something about humans," Santos said quietly. "We didn't spend 10,000 years clawing our way to the top of our food chain to let some computer tell us what's optimal. We didn't survive ice ages, plagues, and world wars by accepting other people's definitions of fairness." Another display activated, showing human colonies throughout what the Council considered neutral space, dozens of them, all established before first contact. "You see, Ambassador, we've been watching your council for quite some time. We learned your languages, studied your culture, figured out how you think, and we realized something interesting. You've forgotten how to fight." Zelith's form began to dim with fear. "The Council has maintained peace for..." "The Council has maintained submission," Santos interrupted. 700 species all so dependent on your algorithms that they've forgotten how to say no, how to stand up for themselves, how to bare their teeth when someone threatens their children. More displays showed human fleets emerging from hidden bases throughout the galaxy. Ships built with technology that shouldn't exist, weapons that violated every Council treaty on acceptable force. "We came here today to offer you a choice," Santos continued. "Recognize our existing colonies, update your precious algorithms to account for human territorial claims, and we can still be friends. Hell, we might even join your little club, as equals." "And if we refuse?" Zelith whispered. Santos smiled. Again, and this time Zelith understood what that expression really meant. It wasn't warmth. It was the smile of an apex predator deciding whether something was prey. "Ambassador, you've spent 2,000 years building a civilization that forgot one fundamental truth. Peace isn't the absence of violence. It's the presence of justice. And sometimes justice has very sharp teeth." The human delegation began filing out of the room, leaving the alien representatives in stunned silence. "The Krillians have 72 hours to evacuate our worlds," Santos called over her shoulder. "After that, we stop being diplomatic about it." As the airlock sealed behind the humans, Zelith finally understood the species' true nature. They hadn't come seeking membership in a peaceful federation. They had come to announce the terms of surrender.